Liverpool rocked by shock twists on and off the pitch. Don't miss a second. Subscribe now for instant Reds updates, exclusives, and breaking alerts.
The former England international spoke to Liverpool.com and revealed why he believes the Reds can still enjoy a positive end to the campaign, despite the disappointment of losing to Manchester City. Mikel Owen has exclusively told Liverpool.com that he still believes Liverpool can outperform any team in the Premier League, but claims the Reds have played at their best too infrequently this season. Sunday's 2-1 defeat to Manchester City saw Arne Slot's side remain in 6th place in the Premier League table, 4 points behind Chelsea in 5th. By the time they kick off against Sunderland on Wednesday, the Reds could even find themselves behind Everton in the table. However, at times this season, Liverpool have beaten Europe's best. Wins over Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and Inter Milan in the Champions League highlight that, with Liverpool ultimately finishing 3rd in the league phase. In the Premier League, it has beaten Arsenal and Aston Villa, and despite sitting 17 points behind the Gunners, Owen clearly agrees with Virgil van Dijk's opinion last week that this can still be a special season for the Reds. "I'm still a massive believer in Liverpool," said Owen, who is now the UK ambassador for the online casino comparison site casino.org. "Maybe I'm just stubborn. I still think that if every single team in the league plays absolutely at their best, Liverpool are the best team in the league. Everyone might say they're 6th in the league, but they won the league last season and at an absolute canter. I mean, it was embarrassing how easily they made it look. I don't necessarily think that Arsenal have gone on and ripped it away from them. It's Liverpool that have played poorly this season in the main. This is the reason they're not going to hold on to their title. But in saying that, if you're Real Madrid or Barcelona and you're coming over to England to play in the semi-finals of the Champions League, who's the last team you want to play? I bet you they still say Liverpool at Anfield. They, Liverpool, aren't consistent. They haven't played well for a large part of the season. But in my opinion, if you look at the starting 11, I still think they're the best team in the league. The key, obviously, is to try to get those performances back, get the confidence going, get a way of playing. But in patches, they've been incredible this season. But it's just been few and far between. That's the problem."
News headline: Dermot Gallagher makes his feelings clear on Liverpool-Man City VAR controversy. Former Premier League referee Dermot Gallagher defended the decision not to send off Marc Guéhi for a challenge on Mohamed Salah during Liverpool's defeat to Manchester City. Former Premier League referee Dermot Gallagher expressed sympathy for Craig Pawson following Liverpool's 2-1 loss to Manchester City, backing the decision not to dismiss Marc Guéhi. The clash was not without its contentious moments, as Dominic Szoboszlai received a straight red card for denying a clear goal-scoring chance in the dying minutes. Earlier in the match, Mohamed Salah was brought down in a comparable situation, yet Guéhi escaped with merely a yellow card. The Hungarian will be absent for the midweek fixture at Sunderland, but the match was dominated by further video assistant referee VAR controversy. In the final stages, Szoboszlai was dismissed for pulling back Erling Haaland as they chased Ryan Cherki's long-distance strike, with Haaland tripping the Liverpool midfielder as the ball crossed the line. Pawson, however, consulted the monitor and determined the goal should be chalked off, awarding City a free kick on the edge of the area and showing a red card to the 25-year-old. The ruling left Pep Guardiola baffled, while Gary Neville questioned the integrity of the sport. Sky Sports Ref Watch examined the pivotal incidents from the match, though it failed to address Liverpool's late penalty appeals involving a foul on Federico Chiesa. Gallagher said, "Do you want your rant? And I'll bring sanity back. It's really intriguing. Watch the referee. He sees the foul and lets play continue, but Szoboszlai gets fouled. The referee sees this one, but he doesn't see this one, Haaland on Szoboszlai, because O'Reilly blocks his path. Without doubt, Szoboszlai will argue he's been fouled, wants a free kick. The VAR points out to the referee that he can't give a goal because it's a foul, so he can go back to the original foul, and the original foul stops Haaland having a goal-scoring opportunity. It's a red card. He denied Haaland, didn't he? It was Cherki who shot, it wasn't Haaland, but he denies Haaland because he's on the run. He pulls him back. I feel for the referee in this situation. He arcs his run, O'Reilly gets in his way. If he saw the second foul and blows, the ball hasn't gone in the back of the net, they go back and send Haaland off. It's job done.
The situation is, it ends up in the net. Szoboszlai is fouled, there's no doubt about that, and you have to default back to the original. Former Cardiff City striker Jay Bothroyd shared the same view and raised doubts about whether Salah should have shown more resilience against Gue's challenge, suggesting the Egyptian went to ground too easily. He said, "I completely agree. If you look at Salah as well, he could have been stronger and stayed on his feet. I think he thinks he was actually in the penalty area, and that's why he went down easily. I think Dias would have come across. It's a possible goal-scoring opportunity, not obvious. To be honest, knowing how Salah plays, I think he would have took a touch inside and finish it. I think it's the right outcome. It's not an obvious goal-scoring opportunity." Earlier in the match, prior to Szoboszlai's stunning strike to open the scoring, Salah was played through only to be pulled back by Gue, with the former Crystal Palace defender shown a yellow card. Gallagher believed the incident fell short of denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, arguing that Ruben Dias was providing cover and suggesting that Salah was happy to receive the foul rather than attempting to score. He added, "I think it's not obvious that's why it goes from a red to a yellow card. It's a foul outside the penalty area. I think Mo Salah is quite happy to receive the foul. He goes down, Dias is coming across. He's very fast. I think it goes from obvious to possible, and that's why a yellow had been awarded."
News headline: Rennes releases official statement after Jeremy Jacquet transfer and injury blow. Rennes has released an official statement to say its manager has been fired after Liverpool signed Jeremy Jacquet last week and the player picked up a serious injury. League One side Rennes has fired its head coach, Habib Beye, after a poor run of results, meaning soon-to-be Liverpool player Jeremy Jacquet will be working under a new manager for the remainder of the campaign. Rennes, who agreed to sell Jacquet to Liverpool in the summer, has not won a league fixture since January 3rd, when the team won 2-0 at Lille. Since then, it has drawn with Le Havre and then lost to Lorient, AS Monaco, Marseille, and Lens by a combined scoreline of 12 goals to 1. Stade Rennais FC has initiated proceedings against its head coach, Mr. Habib Beye, and his assistants, Olivier Saragalia, Sebastian Bichard, and Jan Kavetsa, an official statement reads. Pending the forthcoming decision, the professional team's training sessions will be overseen by Sébastien Tambouret, Pierre Alexandre Lelièvre, and Maxime Lemarchand until further notice. Next up, Rennes will face PSG, but Jeremy Jacquet will not be featuring. He is set for weeks on the sidelines as a result of a shoulder injury that Beye labeled serious. According to the French outlet L'Équipe, Rennes is fearful that Jacquet might need surgery. It remains to be seen how long he is missing for or whether he will play again this season. For Jeremy, it's his shoulder, and for Abdelhamid Ait Boudlal, another Rennes player injured, it's muscular, Beye said shortly after the injury happened. We'll have time to see, but it's definitely quite serious for both of them. Jacquet will not move to Anfield until July 1st, despite an $83 million, £60 million move having been agreed. Rennes was insistent that he must stay for the remainder of the campaign as it bids to secure a European place. As things stand, Rennes is 6th in League One. It was not in a European competition this season, having finished 12th in the previous campaign. I am honored to sign for Liverpool, one of the greatest football institutions in the world, Jacquet said in a statement when his transfer move was confirmed. It was also very important for me to finish my time in red and black on a high, at my boyhood club, the club of my heart. I'm approaching the second half of the season with the desire to experience some great moments with my teammates and the fans. Liverpool is in a defensive crisis at the moment, but was prepared to wait for Jacquet. Dominic Szoboszlai's red card against Manchester City means he will be suspended for Wednesday's visit to Sunderland. Joe Gomez is not expected to be back in time to play at the Stadium of Light. Connor Bradley, Jeremy Frimpong, and Giovanni Leone are all sidelined as well.
News headline: Trent Alexander-Arnold benched on return as Real Madrid star facing summer exit. Former Liverpool defender Trent Alexander-Arnold returned from injury as a substitute for Real Madrid in the team's 2-0 win over Valencia, with Dani Carvajal left out of the matchday squad. Trent Alexander-Arnold could be in line to secure the first-choice right-back position at Real Madrid. The 26-year-old departed Liverpool last summer for the Spanish champions on a permanent transfer, finalized just weeks before his Anfield contract was set to run out. However, Alexander-Arnold's maiden campaign at the Santiago Bernabeu has been hampered by fitness issues, limiting him to only 12 outings in all competitions. On Sunday, Alexander-Arnold returned from a hamstring problem, coming off the bench in Madrid's 2-0 La Liga victory against Valencia. Caretaker boss Álvaro Arbeloa selected youth product David Jimenez to start at right back, with Alexander-Arnold among the substitutes as he worked his way back to full fitness. Madrid icon Dani Carvajal was omitted from the matchday squad entirely by Arbeloa, with The Athletic reporting that the defender was deeply unhappy about his exclusion. Carvajal is said to have been frustrated at missing out on the Valencia fixture, showing visible annoyance during post-match training drills. Despite his reported dissatisfaction at being left out of Madrid's most recent fixture, Carvajal remains committed to maintaining his training intensity as his current deal nears its conclusion. Carvajal's contract at the Bernabeu runs out at the end of the campaign, with the 34-year-old having only just returned from a knee problem a few weeks back. Although Arbeloa opted to leave Carvajal out of the matchday squad, the caretaker Madrid manager justified his choice while highlighting the defender's value in the changing room. "I'll be very clear. I'm seeing Dani improve in training day by day, gradually," Arbeloa said on Sunday. "Obviously, I'm not going to take any risks. When we had days off, he was at Valdebebas working. Inside the dressing room, I don't need to explain the importance of Dani. He's the one who always has something to say before and after matches. On the day of Rayo, today, you always hear him. It's very important for the players to have a reference like him in the dressing room, and I'm sure he's going to find his best form. With the patience and effort we're putting in and his dedication, I'm confident that he's getting closer to regaining his relevance." With Carvajal's situation growing more unclear as his deal approaches its conclusion, the door may be opening for Alexander-Arnold to establish himself as Madrid's first choice right back. Following Alexander-Arnold's return to action at the weekend, Arbeloa outlined why Madrid continues to manage his fitness carefully. "As for Trent, after being out for a long time, we are taking the same approach with him as we will with others returning from injury," Arbeloa stated. "We are proceeding cautiously and calmly, because what we want is for him to find his rhythm, his best playing form, and that's how it will be with Trent."
News headline: UK media react to Liverpool's loss to Manchester City, a season at risk of imploding. Liverpool suffered a 2-1 defeat to Manchester City at Anfield in a dramatic finale, and the national media were scathing in their verdicts, with Arne Slot's players now facing an uphill battle for Champions League qualification. An 8th Premier League defeat of the campaign leaves Liverpool with a mountain to climb in the team's pursuit of Champions League qualification. A 2-1 home reverse against Manchester City means Arne Slot's players now trail Manchester United in 4th by 5 points and sit 4 behind Chelsea, who hold 5th place, likely to be the final qualifying position. Liverpool.com was at Anfield to capture every moment as it unfolded. You can read our full match verdict, player ratings, post-match analysis, and the thoughts of Arne Slot and Pep Guardiola on our dedicated pages. You can also revisit events through our live blog from Anfield. Our colleagues from the national press were also present to offer their own expert assessments. Here's their take on proceedings. The Times, Paul Joyce. Joyce wrote in The Times, "At the height of this rivalry, a few years back, when Liverpool and Manchester City would stand toe-to-toe throughout and trade blows like two prize fighters, this was often billed as the match the whole planet should watch. There were times in the latest installment when an estimated audience of 800 million worldwide may have wondered what all the fuss was about, until a dizzying final passage served as a timely reminder of why it is dangerous to ever look away." Joyce went on to describe the game's finish as a truly remarkable finale. Daily Mail, Lewis Steele. Steele wrote in the Daily Mail, "Szoboszlai, not for the first time this season, produced a magic moment but was let down by his teammates. File it in the category of wonder goals that ultimately counted for zilch. After making Erling Haaland anonymous for 84 minutes, they ended up letting him score and assist another. It rather sums up their campaign, glimpses of something special, but most of them undone." The Independent, Richard Jolly. Jolly wrote in The Independent, "A farcical finish, but a fantastic win for Pep Guardiola.
He had waited a decade to taste victory at a full Anfield. When he did, with a comeback of the ages, seemingly capped by a goal from the halfway line into an empty net, pernickety officiating injected an element of absurd with a decision that no one wanted or needed. Jolly added, an extraordinary end was a familiar one for a team who have conceded 4 injury-time winners this season. If, for much of the match, this seemed a pale imitation of some of the epic encounters between Guardiola's City and Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool, the last half hour brought drama to rival any, and for Szoboszlai, a cruelty. The Mirror, John Cross. Cross wrote in the Mirror, Liverpool boss Slot will know that he has one hell of a job on his hands to save their season from imploding because their confidence and defense look so fragile. The away end was bouncing, and as Guardiola and his players went over to the traveling fans, they were punching the air in delight, with Holland leading the chorus of delight. You write City and Guardiola off at your peril, and what was equally telling was that when they looked done and dusted, they just found a way to claw it back. This is a long way from a classic Guardiola team, but they showed at Anfield they still retain the title-winning mentality and spirit which has set them apart for so long. It was a pretty ordinary first half, lacking in action and drama. The City were the better team, and Mark Guehi looks an outstanding acquisition, but they didn't create much, nor did Liverpool.
News headline: Forgotten Liverpool wonderkid finding success in an unexpected European league. Liverpool had high hopes for Sheyi Ojo when the youngster was breaking through at Anfield, and the forward is now attempting to build his career on the continent. Sheyi Ojo played a starring role for current club Maribor over the weekend as he scored and registered an assist in a Slovenian top-flight game. Ojo, who joined Maribor in 2024, has been a regular starter for the club this season, scoring twice and registering 4 assists in 20 appearances. It's now 15 years since the 28-year-old joined the Liverpool Academy after impressing for Milton Keynes Don's youth teams as a young boy. Ojo was a highly rated youngster during his time on Merseyside, but struggled to fulfill the promise from his academy days and only made 13 appearances for Liverpool's first team, with just 6 of those coming as a starter. Ojo signed long-term contracts with Liverpool in 2015 and 2018, so while his last appearance for the Reds came during the 2016-2017 season, he did not leave the club until the expiry of his final contract in the summer of 2022. The attacker spent time on loan at Wigan, Wolves, Fulham, Reims, Rangers, Cardiff City, and Millwall during his Liverpool career. Upon the expiry of his Liverpool contract in 2024, he signed a 2-year deal with Cardiff, but he struggled to make an impact with the Welsh club and spent the second year of his Cardiff contract on loan at Belgian Pro League side KV Kortrijk. Speaking in an interview with The Athletic in November 2024, Ojo spoke about the moment he felt that his Liverpool career was derailed. In August 2016, just weeks after Ojo had figured in 8 of Liverpool's final 10 games of the 2015-2016 Premier League season, the then-teenager was diagnosed with a fracture in his back. He would go on to play just 2 more times for Liverpool in FA Cup games during the 2016-2017 campaign. I was really upset, to be honest, Ojo, who was also a regular for England across various age groups, said. It didn't break me because I'm still here, but at the time I remember feeling heartbroken because I knew really that was my opportunity to properly kick on. It was a back injury and I was out for about 4 months. Even to this day, I remember that exact feeling. It was a hard one to take. News headline: Wayne Rooney warns Mikel Arteta after Man City's victory at Liverpool. Arsenal leads the Premier League by 6 points as the Gunners look to end their 22-year title wait, and Wayne Rooney believes Mikel Arteta will be under pressure if his players fail to get the job done. Wayne Rooney believes Mikel Arteta could be shown the door if he fails to secure the Premier League title this season. Arteta's players currently hold a 6-point advantage over Manchester City at the summit of the table, following the latter team's win at Liverpool. The Gunners are now the bookies' top pick to clinch the club's first league title since 2004. Given Arsenal's prime position, Rooney insists there can be no excuses if the team doesn't deliver. The England and Manchester United icon stated on the Wayne Rooney Show podcast, "I think for Arteta as well, if they don't win it this year, then Arsenal have backed him massively here, certainly this year as well, and given him a fantastic squad. So if they don't win it this year, then I think there'll be pressure on Arteta, definitely for sure."
Rooney suggests that Manchester City's exhilarating comeback victory over Liverpool at Anfield on Sunday will have rattled Arteta. Liverpool was leading with just 16 minutes left on the clock, only for City to stage a late rally and emerge victorious with a 2-run scoreline. Had Guardiola's players suffered defeat at the weekend, they would have been trailing Arsenal by 9 points instead of 6. Rooney continued, "The effect it can have is huge, because I remember when we, Manchester United, were in title races, and if you played the Saturday or you played earlier and you win, and then you see the gap at 9 points just by coming back to 6. And the way it's happened as well, because obviously Liverpool go a goal up. You think if this stays at 9 points, then what a boost that is for us. But then City coming back, you waste energy watching it, 100%. So I'm sure Arteta will be just telling his players to focus on their job, what they have to do. Because you can get caught up in it and look at other people's results, and I don't think that's a good thing. And they, Arsenal, will be looking at the fixtures coming up and trying to work out how many points they feel they'll win or City will win. You get caught up in it all, and in the end, all that matters really is if you win your games. That's it."